And welcome back to the 12th man. Delighted to have Callum quickly in for this Man United Liverpool chat show. We were hoping to have a few more guests on. Few things ran out of their control. It doesn't help that the beer gardens are open as well. I think everybody's minds elsewhere. The fact there's not a lot riding on this game at the weekend too. We'll get into that. But it's United Liverpool. And we're looking forward to the show. He's on 350 grand a week, and he's literally doing live streams on Twitter during a game. Like it's embarrassing.
It's honestly just getting $50 grand a week for not even
so only one quick start for me. Like only the one Saturday. My opinion is like the game every Well, Callum, how many times we sat here and moaned about restrictions, lockdowns, not being able to do anything? But it's great to see everyone's out and enjoying themselves. Obviously, we hope there's loads of people watching as well. There's actually a few watching, to be fair. Round about the houses trying to get people on tonight. Obviously, that doesn't help by the situation. Obviously, glad to see everyone out as well. But Callum, could be a couple more joining in. If not, it might be just be me and you for the next hour or so. But before we get into the Man United Liverpool stuff, must choose his podcast. There's a bit of work getting done in the backyard, so impossible to do anything here. I had to give it a must, but we're going to just touch on, obviously, Spurs got beat last weekend. You know what? Hope more than expectation. I was hoping for a win, but there was no part of me that I actually thought it was going to happen. In the end, it was a bit of a 1-0. It sounded like it was a hit game, but it was a landslide victory and started off a great week for Man City. But before we get into Man City, Callum, what was your thoughts on the game last weekend? You were looking forward to the game, but in the end, it was a mismatch completely, and it was almost as if it was two teams playing each other in two completely different divisions.
100%. I was, as I said on Sunday, I was looking forward to it. I hope, since it was a cup final, Spurs might have turned up. You might have got a wee shock performance, but it was complete one-way traffic for 90 minutes of, as you said, 1-0 makes it look like it was a tight match, but it was far from it.
I'll tell you, I'm glad just to get on here for an hour, because if I look at my Snapchat or Instagram anymore, I'm gonna cry, because I would murder a pint right now. Hey, I'm seeing all these stories, but no, I was very disappointed in how Spurs played. I think we spoke about it in the lead up to the game, with Jamie on the podcast, and then I had the special with Mark and Makilik, and we talked about the fact that Mason was on there. We expected a bit more of a fight with Spurs and that they wouldn't down tools, but it was as if Mourinho was on there and there was no real change. And Cam, what do you just sense that doesn't matter who's on there at the minute, they're fighting a losing battle with the players available?
That's what I was thinking, because I remember, I think it was Gary Neville, who's like, or someone, might have been Michael Richards. He's like, where's the courage from the players? They pick up the ball and our own forward. They done analysis.
Jagger, wasn't it?
Carrick, that's who it was. And Monday Night Football, he was analysing the links and all, and they just couldn't pass the ball forward. You can't really say it's 100% the manager if the players aren't willing to step up themselves and try play a bit of football, like especially in a final.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, you find it's a 50-50, not a 50-50 game, but it's a one-off game, and we've seen bigger shocks in football. But you just felt on that game like there are not many people that give Spurs a chance. Everyone sort of thought that City were nailed on. They won the game, and the only things that disappointed City is that it took so long. They break through, and within the last 10 minutes, still 0-0. And there was part of you that thought that maybe one chance, and it could be different. But I would have been embarrassed. I would have been embarrassed if we had won it because we didn't deserve the even.
The longer it went on, I thought Spurs were going to get a wee 1-0. Maybe that's what I said. I said, Kane gets one chance, like you'll probably score it, but you don't even get that chance.
It's funny you mentioned his name because I was going to ask you about him. A lot of talk about Kane. Is that the one thing Man City are missing? You've seen the amount of chances they created against Spurs. We're going to the PSG game in the second half. They could have the tie over. Is that the one thing they're really missing? That if you got a Kane in instead of a Sterling, you're talking levels and levels apart.
Oh, we talked about it last time I was on, about who can actually afford them. But in terms of their team, because I've seen it in Wednesday night as well when they played, they were getting chances and won the box. And there was nobody there waiting for a ball because they don't have that striker in there. Like, and if Kane was there, and Jesus, that's another 40 goals easy. Like, so massive.
Yeah. I just knocked on my Xbox there by accident. That's what that noise was. But no, so obviously getting into the PSG game on Tuesday, I think that was the big test for them. Beating Spurs was no great shake. Spurs have been terrible recently. Probably the worst I've ever seen us. And talk now of, struggling to get a manager on from what I hear. It's Rodgers that doesn't fancy it. Nagelsmann's obviously went to Bayern and it looks like Ten Hag's going to stay at Ajax. Now, the only thing I would say about that is, apparently the Spurs have actually met with Ten Hag and apparently the lack of English and stuff put him off him. So it might not have been down to Ten Hag, it might have been more of a Spurs, but it's an hour manager that was on their list that they didn't get. And it's going to be interesting now to see where they go from here. But they go on to Tuesday, Man City, come up against a former Spurs manager, Pochettino. And PSG started so well in that first half. Were very, very good. And you sort of thought that you've seen them against Chelsea the week before. This was more of the Man City that we've seen recently, in terms of struggling in games against, like I said, losing to Chelsea, losing the Leeds. And obviously PSG being 1-0 down, but what changed at halftime, Cam? They just come out a completely different team. Do you think PSG got a bit too negative? You thought they'd sit on the lead? Was it a combination of things? And in the end, City, the red card in the end, City could have went on. They wanted more convincingly, but a fantastic result nonetheless.
100%. It was obviously a game of two halves. I had PSG, Dundee City, what everyone knows City for, the high pressing, won the ball high up on the pitch, and they were playing well. I thought PSG, they had the chances to actually win the tie in the first half. But as you said, I'm not quite sure what happened for between half time, because it was like just a complete switch. Like, City played unbelievable football. Thought the goals were, well, the De Bruyne one was poor keeping, I think, but overall they deserved it 100%. And it's a hard tie now for PSG next week.
Yeah, I think you can have the nail in the head. Navas has been so consistent this season for PSG in the Champions League. Don't watch a lot of French football, so I couldn't tell you how he's been doing them games. But in the Bayern Munich games especially, he kept them out for a long times. But I thought he was at fault for both the goals. I really thought he misjudged the first one. And the second one, it might have caught him out. Morales hitting it, but it was straight in the middle of the net. And again, it just shows City needed that set piece, two set pieces against PSG. The header against Spurs from set piece. From open play, they're not taking their chances. Is that the only concern City fans will have and Pep will have, that despite all the chances they create, despite all the possession they have, that they're needing set pieces. They won games, and will eventually that catch up on them if they do make it through against PSG and play in the final?
It's hard to say, because goals are goals. Like, I know they had abundance of chances against Usins on Sunday, and they needed a corner to get the goal. So, and then you can come back to whether or not a lack of striker is catching up on as well. As Jesus fit, I don't know why he's not on the team. Maybe just having a box.
I think Pep's making it evident that he doesn't fancy the two strikers he has available.
No.
He's saying to the board, I really need I know he's a backman before, but I think he wants Kane or a Haaland or an Mbappe. He wants one of them three. Like, I think that he knows that's going to require big money. I think he's making that point to the board. Look, I can't play these players. I think we need somebody else. And it's very easy for the board to turn around and say, well, if Jesus was playing and he was scoring, they all go here and there and they were winning games. Well, you don't really need Harry Kane. But if you've seen in these games, they do need somebody, because that could catch up on them. You talk about the game against Chelsea in the semi-final, and they didn't get through that game. They've got a bit of a wobble in the league. Only United were probably too far behind to catch them. It's been in their favour. Gundogan really carried them for long spells with goals. His goals have dried up, and all of a sudden, City's goals have dried up. So that's definitely something they're going to have to address in the summer. Do you think that the tie's still alive? The PSG, they'll still believe they can turn it around?
It's 100%. Like, I know the 2 away goals are big goals, like, but you can't write PSG off, like, because the boys they have up front, Neymar and Mbappe and Di Maria, thought he played an excellent game too. Like, so, the tie's not over yet. The Man City favourites, but it's definitely not over.
It'll be interesting to see how PSG approach it, because we've seen against Bayern, on a counter attack, they have to go and win this game, so they might be forced to play slightly different. Although City only play one way as well, so it will be interesting to see how that. It might not be. I think you need an early PSG goal to make it, as good as it was last week. Here, a lot of talk about that being the best ever performance by an English team in the Champions League, basically. Away performance. Do you agree? So in the first half they were totally outplayed. I think Gary Lineker said second half performance, but you can't judge a team in 45 minutes. I think I don't know off the top of my head, but obviously I think about the Spurs Ajax, but that was 45 minutes. There's been other ones, Chelsea away in Barcelona. We had 10 men and we lost.
Liverpool's 4-0. No, I was sorry, I was at home.
That was at home, there has been a lot of talk about it. Obviously they got the result and they should have pulled away in the end, but do you think that people are reading too much into that as well? People are just sort of forgetting the first half.
I know. I was going to say, you can't say it's one of the all-time great performances if he only won one half of the match, really, because if you go out, you have to say out there, you probably have to go out.
They could have been 2 or 3 down in the first half,
Exactly. So if they had it done the PSG what they done against Spurs, maybe I could see free because it was a total domination. But don't take anything away from him. It was a great performance, but I think they only won one half of the match, so I think it's a wee bit of an over exaggeration.
Do you think as Poch took that Spursiness way into PSG, sort of won cruising?
Ask me that next week.
Hopefully, I really hope he does it. I'd love to see him turn it around and go on the final and win it. Because he's done really well, PSG in the Champions League. But funny thing is, this Champions League run's been peppering over the cracks for PSG in terms of their league performance. They're sitting third in the league. If they were to finish third in the league and were to get knocked out now, all of a sudden, do you think Pochettino's under serious pressure going on the next season? I know he won't be sacked this season, but all of a sudden, he's under pressure going the next season already because he's not won the league or the Champions League.
Well, especially with the standards of PSG, I can't mind the table now, but I think there's only 1 or 2 points on that league at the moment between third and fourth or something, first and fourth. So it's a tight league at the moment. But with PSG and a team they have, he has to won the league at least, and then I'm not sure about the Champions League, but they'll be looking to win that too.
Yeah. You just wonder, is it a motivation thing with PSG in the French league that they've won it that many times? They're not that bored because if they turn up against any team in that league, they're going to beat them. It's that easy for them. Some of the results that I've seen, they've been losing the teams in the bottom half of the table, and then you see how they played against Bayern Munich. It's hard to know why they're losing them games. But it could be just be a case of they're sick winning it and they just want to focus on the Champions League. I'm going to put you in the spot, Callum. Is the Carabao, the League Cup, the first of many this season for Man City? You think they should win the Premier League? Barring any miracle now from United and City completely collapsing, but do you think they'll do the Champions League as well?
I do think the Champions League is theirs as well. It'll be a big performance by PSG if they were to knock them out next week. It has to be a really, really good performance. I don't know. I just can't see City capitulating now with a 2-1 up here. I really do think that's theirs. Now, whether or not they get Real Madrid or Chelsea in the final, I don't know, but I think they're capable of beating any of them too. I know Chelsea will probably give them a better game after we've
Yeah.
seen the FA Cup. I think Chelsea and Man City will be a good final. I think they
Do you
probably
think
beat.
Chelsea will get free?
Um, I don't know. I think Chelsea lack that conviction as well. Hey, they
Put
could have
Bentham on the Chelsea team, and you would say we have 100% confidence they go free. But it's just again, the chances are missing. Werner's looking very much like a player that's just going to keep missing. It's crazy.
I think Madrid's experience might help them next week. I don't think they'll play better in Chelsea, but I think it's no one like I know how they won the match. I think they because that's what they showed against us, like. So I think they could do it, but I don't know. I'm leaning towards Madrid, not because they're a better side. I just think they have the experience at the moment.
Yeah, it's crazy that they're so good going forward, Chelsea, that they just can't score. I know Pulisic took his goal well, but Werner's and Havertz especially guilty and missing edge chances. Not even half chances, just really, really poor misses. I mean, not one Werner missed in that game. You have to put them. If you're a Chelsea fan, you also turn your head. But I still think Chelsea might have enough to get through. Madrid, I think Tuchel's done the. Not saying Klopp couldn't do it, but I think that 45 minutes against Madrid really, he's right on the tie after that. Being 2-0 down, it was too much to come back from against an experienced side. If you look at the second half of that game in Spain, it was more even. And then the game at Anfield, Liverpool were dominant for large spells without scoring. So if you analyse it without that first half, and there might have been much in it, Liverpool could have got through. And then against Chelsea again, and against Chelsea as well, for how good they are, they give you chances because they don't take their own chances, and you always feel you're on the game. So there was a route there for Liverpool to get through to the final. Against one of these teams, it would have been a tough final the way they're playing, especially. But it was possible. It's funny enough as well. People's been talking about French league not being good and stuff. And what do you make of Nagelsmann going to Bayern Munich? Do you think that's a real blow to the German league? We've seen it before with players moving from Dortmund to Bayern. Now it's a manager. This is with Leipzig, but it's again another top team losing to as Bayern Munich is the big fish, and they're always going to get the best players, the best managers that come out of Germany.
Me and my friends are wrong with this here. I think it just dilutes the league loads it because they've got arguably the best manager now out of from the rest, and then they got Laurent Upamecano as well. So that's a player and a manager they talk of. Leipzig, I don't know. They have a history of doing it. I do agree. I think they just are the big fish, and they're always going to be able to feed them players on that because the pull of the club as well.
You see, you wouldn't see that in England. You would never see Pep going to Liverpool or Klopp going to Man City or Ole going to Liverpool or United or City. You just wouldn't see it happening. Obviously, there's rivalries there as well, but you wouldn't even see a Spurs manager going to Chelsea in recent times, or maybe at them when they're being sacked, but they wouldn't just jump from club to club. Leaving one club. It's usually what happens in England is managers get sacked before they move. But just to walk out because another team wants you, it doesn't really happen at the top level over in England. We've seen this week Spurs are trying to test Rodgers, and Rodgers is happy enough at Leicester. You can look at that put two ways. Maybe Spurs aren't as attractive as they would have been a few years ago, or that maybe Leicester is just a team that he feels they can grow with. Their owners are prepared to back him, and they're improving every year. Whereas Leipzig are a team that are on the up and improving, but Nagelsmann still sees it as a big jump to go to Bayern. Hey, do you know what? One report I've seen today, Hansi Flick has been linked to the Spurs job. Do you think that that would be a good move for Spurs if they were to go for him, or do you think it's a very big gamble based on you're just judging him on what he's done at Bayern Munich?
I think he's a top manager, but I don't think even a Spurs contact him might be interested. To be honest,
apparently it's the other way around. Apparently Flick is the one that's interested, but Spurs haven't got him on the shortlist. It was the Telegraph put it out today. Matt Law. I'm not sure how the Telegraph are usually reliable.
See, I only really know Bayern from the Champions League. I don't really watch the German football, and obviously he won the treble with Emmons.
I think the problem Flick has now is his next club's always going to be a step down. Not a step down, but at least he's probably not going to unless he goes to Madrid or a Liverpool. But Klopp doesn't look like he's going to get sacked. All he looks like he's doing well at United. Where's his next job coming from?
Well, as they not near enough guaranteed that German job, so I'm not sure.
See, this is it. There's still up in the air about that, aren't they?
Mm.
Again, that hasn't been officially confirmed. You would think that he would be going to Germany.
Mm.
But again, it's gone quiet since that initial story about him going there. The Spurs story, it came out of nowhere. I think if he maybe it's just
surprised he even told me because I haven't heard of it.
it was Matt Law put it on his Twitter today that he could possibly be interested in it. But hey, let's move on. Big game on Sunday, Cal. United Liverpool. It's funny because this game in January, there was massive hype around it. Both teams are at the top of the league. And both it's not happened for both teams in terms of the league. United, that draw against Leeds last week pretty much guarantees City are going to be champions within the next week or two. United fans, some will see it as a success, finishing second. You don't get any trophies for it, but they'll look at it as a step in the right direction. Liverpool, it's completely derailed the second half of the season. When we talked about it a lot this week, is this a must-win game for Liverpool? Do they have to win? Is every game now a must-win? Do they have any chance of finishing top four?
I've seen a couple of Jeremy Carragher. They said they would have to win near enough every game now. They got top four. In terms of Man United, Liverpool's probably one of the most uneventful fixtures in a long time now because there's not a while not to be playing for. Like Liverpool's not nailed on for top four. They have an outside chance, and then Man United's they have a semi-final next week again. I know they're free, but not a wild lot right on at this time, other than just pride and rivalry wanting to beat each other. So not quite
obviously
sure
the pride thing comes on it. You never want to lose. You never want to lose to your rival. And do you know what makes it a wee bit interesting? That I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if City were to won tomorrow at 12:30, Liverpool could hand City the title with a victory on Sunday. So United, I don't think United will want to lose it that way. In terms of Liverpool doing it to them. Do you think that's extra motivation for Liverpool? They hand it over to City, or do you think that Liverpool might see City just as much as they see United these days? Maybe not in terms of the fans, but as a club.
Don't think Liverpool will be thinking too much about Man City, the title and stuff like that there. They'll come out and say they're looking to try to get top four when they won the match. So that's what they'll be trying to do. And I don't think they really look. They all know the title's over. So whether or not they want it this week or next week doesn't really matter to them. On the other hand, United. Well, now you tell me out there, I don't know what's going to happen, but United will definitely don't want to lose it. They lose it to Liverpool. So
yeah, and the fact that they think that Roma performance, although they've scored 6, it's obviously they come on late in great form. Bar the Leeds draw, I think they won their last 5 league games before that. They beat Granada twice. They've on a good run. Does that frighten you a bit that they've put 6 past Roma, and the fact that they don't have to rest players for next Thursday's game? It's completely they're free, that they're going to go full strength, and the way they're playing, the confidence. Liverpool haven't been their greatest run. That you could be in for a really tough game on Sunday.
I was worried even before the Roma match because I don't know if you watched us play Newcastle, but it was absolutely shocking. I know a lot of people will probably point to the fact that we must chance after chance, which we did, and that's fine. But the fact that when we don't have Fabinho on my field, so it's a nightmare to watch. Newcastle probably, obviously there's worse teams, but they're up there as one of the worst in the league, and they were walking for his time. So if
Newcastle have a good form, that's a one thing I will say. But as you say, you should still be beating them. Why the club play him at centre back? He's been doing well on the field.
It was Nat Phillips had a hamstring injury.
What about the boy Davis? He signed him. Was there no way he could play now?
I was reading about him. I don't think he's ever going to play for Liverpool. They're saying. I don't know what's happened to him. But
what about Williams? Could he not come back on the team?
He's not good enough. He's just not up to scratch. He's too young.
I just wonder, Cam. We've talked a lot about injuries. Klopp himself. When did the fans? And I know you're a loyal Klopp. You still want him in shards in next season, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but where does the blame stop with him? Because he's making big decisions in terms of his team selections when there's other players available, whether he believes in them or not, is another thing. But why sign Davis if he's not good enough? Why have Williams on there on the squad if he's not good enough? And that's constant shopping and changing. You had Fabinho and Henderson on there. Was he responsible for derailing the confidence of the other defenders? How much blame should he take and all this? Liverpool were in a strong position at at Christmas time, and you could no one expected them to win the league after Van Dijk. But the fact that they had so many points ahead in all their teams, the likes of Chelsea, and the likes of Leicester, that they've had such a poor run. They're now in danger of not even being in the European positions next season.
I mean, the thing is, right, you have to blame Klopp to a certain extent, but at the same time, he's also want to see him every day and training. We don't like, so you have to trust his judgment as well. You go back to Henderson playing him in centre half. And he was right because of looking at it now. He was right. He doesn't trust them centre halves that he had. Reece Williams wasn't good enough, and then Nat Phillips, he's done a good job, and then Ben Davis. Obviously, they must have fancied him. They bring him when he came here, but he has obviously we haven't seen any of them, so we can't really give a judgment call on him. He's obviously not good enough for us to get on the team. So you just have to kind of trust your manager, the fact that he watches them every day in training. Because
and they are one as well as Thiago's in and out of the team. He can't really, he came here. They sort of be a starter, he was instrumental in Bayern winning the Champions League and being so successful that he can't hold any position.
I thought it was criminal they didn't start against Madrid both leagues. Really,
but what did that tell you? The Klopp don't fancy him, or
No, it's not. I don't know if it doesn't fancy. No, he knows his quality. I don't have an answer for that one because I thought. No, he's that man for that type of games in terms of holding the balls, spreading it, controlling the play. And I'm not quite sure. He took a gamble with Keita, and I do like Keita. I still, even to this day, defend him. I think he's a great player, but obviously injuries have done one. But I don't know. I just felt like Thiago should have been playing them matches because I think now looking at it, that we're out where it was probably a wrong call.
Do you think as well that signing a player at 29, never played in England, was a bigger gamble than most people thought? Everyone. It's a different league, England. Everyone thought a great player coming on, but just goes to show you, you've seen it with Varane years ago at United, quality player, but never really worked out. This is quite similar. Thiago coming on from a really good side, and being a winner. He's playing at Barcelona, he's played at Bayern Munich, but I don't think he looks comfortable in England.
I'm not sure. I think at the minute you have to give him another season because we don't have a full team here. I know it was earlier on the season, but see when we went the full team against Everton. Thought he played a blinder that game. He was really everything went through him. He was unbelievable that day. I thought he got man of the match against Newcastle last week. I thought he played he was the only really man on my field who could actually pick a pass forward. Gini was doing nothing. And then we brought Milner on just to shore it up. But no, I still think there's more to come from it. 100%.
Obviously the board's under big pressure with the Super League stuff, What do you think they'll be thinking now? The Super League hasn't worked out, it's evident that the team needs a cash injection in the summer. They turn the slump around. I think everyone knows. Speaking to Mark last week down here, down watching the final. It's pointless going with the same team next year. Of course, Van Dijk and Gomez will be back in, but I think we spoke about it before. The likes of Salah, Mane, and Firmino. Do you think you've seen the best of them at Liverpool? I wouldn't say completely write them off, but they perform at the levels they were performing for so many years consistently. Do you think it's unlikely that that'll happen again?
Not quite sure. Next season's a real shot in the dark. I don't really know where it's going to go. We need cash injection, as you said. Apparently, your man Kanate at centre half from Leipzig's more or less a done deal. So that's one man on, and then we're going to let Gini go. I read today from can't remember who it was, but it was a good journalist. He was saying we're interested in your man Basuma from Brighton, I think it is.
Yeah, he'd be a great player.
So, in terms of the front three, obviously Sal's still putting up the numbers, unbelievable.
Yep.
I don't know.
There's
I think it's
a contract, wasn't there? If he's not going to sign, what are they going to do?
I think it's unfair. They write them off yet because they've been so good at. We'll see what they're at next season. And I know it's not really works good in Sal because he's been so good this year. But in terms of Mane and the rest of them,
I agree. There is a case for giving them an hour season. But on the flip side of that, from a financial point of view, if they have an hour per season, Mane's 30, Firmino's 30, you're going to get next to nothing for them. You've got nothing to invest. When Liverpool let Coutinho go, they got 140 million, was it, to invest in the team. You wouldn't be getting anything for these lads.
We're not going to get them money anyway now with the COVID and stuff like that. So it's one of them ones, probably 50, isn't it? I'd rather keep them and let them go on cheap.
Yeah, Wijnaldum's contract's up in the air as well. Is he going to sign? There's rumours he could sign now. We're not so sure. Is he waiting on the top four? Do you think that
I read he's Barca.
Do you think that the finishing in the top four is going to have an impact on how much funds the board are going to make available,
100%.
and what players they can attract? Or do you think that Liverpool still being a top club, they'll be able to attract anybody?
Well, Klopp said it today in the pre-match interview for what I call it, the United match. He was saying, well, without 100% saying it, but he's saying if we don't get top four financially, he knows how much it's going to hurt the club and stuff like that there. So if we don't finish top four, I think we're in for even more rough summer than we already are.
Yeah. Say that happens, right? To be honest, it's more than likely. I can't mind the last time Liverpool won 5 games in the league. We won every game. I know the fixtures aren't as bad, but saying that, the bottom 6 teams, they've struggled this season as well. So it's hard to predict with Liverpool at the moment. But they haven't won United for a long time as well. I think we talked about 2014 before. 7 years, like, so. They go, and it's probably the best United have been in the 7 years. They Moyes was the last victory. So since Ferguson left, they haven't been able to beat them, and they're probably in a better position now than they've been in 7 years. But if they were to not finish in the top 4, Cal, where does it leave the board with Klopp? Do you think they'll go again with him? Do you think Klopp may consider his position and go, well, if I'm not going to get any money, they risk going an hour a year, and maybe we have an hour per season, and all of a sudden my legacy sort of tarnished a bit. What do you think they'll be thinking on both sides? What do you think the board will feel, and how do you think Klopp will feel?
Well, Klopp's always said, I know it's a professed answer, but he said, I'm here to do the contract ends like, and that's 2023, I think it was, or 24. So, yeah. And how says he's going for the another 3 or 4 years. In terms of the board, well, they're on a repair job now after the ESL, so they have to be seen. They know help the club now at this stage, because for a lot of fans, they've already had the nail in the coffin with them. So trying to repair the people who are on the fence on them, they need to help Klopp this summer now, because everyone knows now how bad we've been. Like, I know the way people are going back, but I think the team still needs a bit of refreshing. I think the style of play needs to change now at this stage. I think it's been found out. So, do
you think that Klopp will change though? That's the concern. He only knows one way.
Sure, because we've seen this season, even though we don't have them centre halves there when we're playing makeshift defences, he still plays that high line. You've seen it when Chris put the ball where he finishes. What Rio was saying, but what are you doing playing that high line when you don't have the ball?
See, on a reputation level, it sounds crazy to get rid of him, because you're not going to get anyone. You're not going to get stature of manager back on.
He's not getting sacked or anything. Like, he's not good.
And then if you sack him and it goes wrong, people are going to say it's crazy. Pochettino, it looks really stupid now. But towards the end of Pochettino, I think it was done. There's nothing. With Spurs could have ran it out in another 6 months, and you would have had similar results. I think the mistakes were made earlier the year before, when he should have been back with new players. And Cam, I just wonder now that if they aren't going to back him with players, is it going to get much better than it is right now? There is a chance if they back him with players and bring in younger players, and I don't think Klopp will change his style. That's the problem. I think they'll have to bring in players to suit him, which is fine, because Klopp has a record for producing results and trophies, and there's no reason not to back him. He should do exactly what he thinks. But if they aren't going to pay big money, and they aren't going to change a lot of them players around, I just wonder if he's the best man to take him forward.
It has to be. Like, I know we said it loads of times this year when I've been on this podcast. The short memories is mental. Like, we were top league in January. I know it's derailed and stuff like that there, but you have to remember what he's done for the club. I know. Yeah. I think you're speaking from a Spurs perspective too, about how you.
I'm just trying to be objective. That's all.
I know it's your job at the moment, but I think you're talking about as well, but how you kind of view Spurs the way as it end his time and stuff like that there. I'm not quite sure. I think he's 100%.
It's not even so much. It's the performances I'm seeing, Cal, from Liverpool. When I see them, they just look.
Oh no, I can't deny it.
They need something different. Whether it's players or a different voice. And I just think that's going to be one of the other. I think if you go with the same players, wait an extra 1 or 2 next year, you're going to get a lot of the same stuff happening over and over again.
I think the only thing that's a saving grace is the minute is it isn't a full team. If we had the full team and we had these performances this year, I would question them, because you still have that same team. I would be saying you have that Champions League side, one inside, Premier League one inside, and you've derailed essentially. Yeah. So I think the players that are out have helped the criticism or lack of, because if they had them players, I think it'd be a different story. I think the fans would be on his back a bit.
Yeah. See, with United, sort of different kind of perspective here. A lot of United fans, a lot of rival fans have sort of been laughing over the last year or two about Ollie getting the United job and keep him on there because it means more more time United will be in decline and stuff. Just keep him on there. Won the all game. I mean, Liverpool fans tell me they were happy to see them won the all game. When he was under pressure. When he always felt there was one or two. Oh, great! He's on there for another few months now. Is that starting to change now? Do you think that United are starting to look like a real force under him, and that the semi-final jinx it looks like it's gone? Barring a miracle next week, I think Roma will maybe won 4-0. And if United, that's very unlikely. We've seen comebacks before, but I can't remember apart from Liverpool one, a 4-goal deficit, and I think United will be definitely capable of scoring goals out there too. So you have to envisage they're going to be in the final. Am I going to play up Arsenal or Villarreal? And Arsenal, the minute, are dreadful form, and Villarreal, United will be expected to beat them too. So there's a real possibility for Ollie to finish the season strong, finish second, win a trophy. Do you think that changes how everyone views him? United fans and rival fans?
I remember when United beat Hughes away from home there not that long ago, and they were saying they have all the right qualities of a good team, though coming back from behind and playing on the front foot and the confidence. And I 100% agree with him now. Like, I know earlier on I was one of them fans thinking, oh, geez, they always got a result just the right time to keep them on a job. Yep. United's not really threatening. I don't think there's many teams that can challenge City yet, so I think City will probably be, unless barring a miracle, I can't really see much.
Do you think, take out the Europa League, right? But do you think in the league this season he's overachieved? Because I look at the team player for player. You match him with Liverpool, you match him with Chelsea, you match him, even go as far as Spurs, player for player. I don't think there's that much. Go with Spurs. I think they are better than Spurs, player for player, but not by a landslide. Liverpool, I know maybe with injuries, but again, I don't see a massive difference. Chelsea, you could argue player for player, they're stronger. Do you think McTominay he's improved this season, but he's not a standout player? Fred again the same. Maguire, people have their opinions on him. Obviously he's done well to get Shaw back firing. Wan-Bissaka can't get anywhere near the England team. And he doesn't really have a recognised striker. Cavani comes in and out, but Rashford, Martial playing there, and he said Daniel James playing right wing. So do you think that he deserves great credit? Because for me, I don't think they're the second best team on paper in the league.
No, I 100% agree with you. Definitely overachieved. I think the one thing to look at is that away record they have. The last time they lost was when we beat them 3-1 at Anfield, and that was how long ago now? Over a year. So
it's strange because that points to a team that have strong mentality and go away anywhere and get a result. But or a big semi-final what they've had, they've got over it now with Roma, you think, but before they've come up short in them games and you feel like they've not turned up, they've bottled it a bit. It'd just be interesting to see in the final, they're going to be favourites, will they be able to handle the pressure? Like, I think if they get that first trophy, you've seen it with Liverpool before, and getting that first trophy on their clock was massive. Do you fear that if you look at the two teams now, Callum, United and Liverpool, do you think United are in a better position now than usually to challenge next year, to challenge City, to maybe not win the league, but again, be City's closest rival? Along with Chelsea, do you think Liverpool have a lot of work to do now to get back to where they were last year?
We have 100%. We have a massive transfer window coming. Like, I definitely got to. I think Chelsea's got a bit of a big rival next year. They Man City.
Yeah.
Purely because the depth they have is unbelievable. It's near a rival City. I think we took it as well. I think it'll be more Chelsea than it is Man United next year. I'm not sure if Man United fans will agree, but I think in certain games this season they have been hot and cold. So I know they have, because they're. I think I wasn't the derby.
I think it's their personnel, but more than anything, I think it's just.
I don't think it's all. I think it's more the personnel.
I think they're missing a couple of. You put a top midfielder on that team and possibly our top defender and a striker. Like they're not far away. Like No. So sorry, just to ask you, do you think that they're in a better position than Liverpool? If you were looking at it now, obviously I'm not going to get you to predict how next season's going to go, but if taking the bias out of it, would you rather be in their position?
Probably I don't think they have a better team than us, a player for player, but I think he's got them playing well, and you have to credit that. So I know we've said plenty of times about the injuries and stuff like that there, but they're 100% in a better position at the minute. So
just before we get into the prediction, what do you think both teams need next season? Moving forward, what's the key areas for Liverpool to strengthen? As you say, COVID market is probably going to be limited. Do you think if there was three players you would love to sign, who would it be?
Well, according to the big journalists that they're Canate boys on, so
Yeah.
that's one centre half on.
You
I
mentioned
think,
Basuma. I think Basuma, again, people rub their nose up at Brighton player, but I think he's as good as anybody around, you know.
I do see. I was right. I wouldn't turn my nose up with Bazuma, but I don't think he's exactly what we need at the minute. I think if you look at our midfield, if you have Fabinho on there, he protects the back four. But see, in
Yep.
terms of having a player that can bid a man and provide an assist, we are crying out for a midfielder to get there. Like Coutinho, I know he's never going to come back, but I mean, we just
I
need
think
that.
both teams could do a Hurricane, you know, to be honest, but, you know,
I
don't
know.
really want to see a Hurricane there for
Anything more could do with a Hurricane, but I think in terms of our midfield, we desperately need somebody who can pass a man to get a see that pass to the goal.
Grealish will be one. You know,
Money.
but again, you know, money as you know, Villa are not going to be in Europe. I don't think. You know, they sort of fell away. You know, I think Grealish is
playing free as well.
Move on. I think you know, Villa are mid-table at the minute. I don't think he'll want to wait another year now. I think he's done. You know, he's got them up. He bought them free relegation last year. And to be fair, you know, if he hadn't got injured, God knows Villa could have finished in the top 6 this year. They've really missed them. But I think he's done his service there now, and he probably will when he move on. United, I think as well, both teams will be looking for a similar kind of player. I think a top centre half, a top midfielder, and a top striker. Because you know Liverpool have been struggling to score goals too, which is probably the strangest thing about this all. That you know they were so good scoring goals. Everyone said about the back, sort of flopped now. Even with injuries, you know Liverpool haven't been that bad at the back in terms they haven't been leaking goals for fun. It's just they've been struggling, especially if they score goals.
That's how it is. But I think with Jota as well. I know we're still. I read reports that we're going to try look for another striker, but you might have an overload then because you have the front three and then you have Jota and then somebody else. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to go.
I think Firmino, I think that'll be the one they're really looking at because he's not creating enough, he's not scoring enough. They really have to do something. You can't have a player on there, you know, that doesn't score goals or is not creating goals anymore. I mean, especially when you're struggling yourselves, you know. And I think that's going to be an area that they need to strengthen big time. Just 1 second, someone popped up my screen. But so how do you see the game going on Sunday? And you know, how do you fancy? You know, what would your prediction be?
I'm not quite sure. I think before the Roma game, I was saying it's going to be a Man United one. I can't really see us. I think we were gonna get picked apart. I'm not. The only hope I have now is that Man United's through for the semi-final now, so they might. I don't know. I still think that not having Fabinho in my field's massive for us because I don't watch that Newcastle match as.
Do you think he'll be back on the midfield, or do you think they'll play him at the back again?
No, I don't know if our centre halves are fit. Kabak and Phillips. I know Kabak is, but I'm not sure Phillips is. If Fabinho's not in my field, we're going to lose the match. I can guarantee that now for a fact. I can't see us getting anything, because especially with their counter attack as well. I know our record as well. Away to Old Trafford's awful. So I know everyone who watches me when I'm on Liverpool, I'm always negative. Like, but I can't
see if they were to lose or draw, for example. You know, then top four is basically done. You know, mathematically probably ain't, but it's near on impossible at that stage. You know, see for the last few games, do you sense they're important in terms of, do you think Europa League's important? You know, you don't want to be in.
I think even in terms of their confidence at this stage, I think a one on Sunday would do them all really good against Man United. Like, I know, so.
But I'm just looking at this from a Spurs point of view as well. You know, I've always sort of said Europa League. You know, I don't really, when the games are on, you get no really motivation for it, especially the group games. But the fact this Conference League's coming on this year, you're going to be going on an even worse competition. I'm now starting to look and go, well, you know what, I really fancy top six. You know, I really hope beyond it. So do you sort of see it the same, that you would not want to be playing in the Conference League?
Oh, definitely. I'd rather have the Europa League than the Conference League. Like, so I'm not quite sure how see if Man United won the Europa League. Does Faf get Champions League? Is that how it works?
Yeah, no, it doesn't quite go that way. You can't profit off another team's success. It doesn't quite work that way. What could happen? It's looking unlikely now is if Chelsea and Arsenal are obviously in a tricky situation, but if Arsenal were to turn that round and won the Europa League, Chelsea already won the Champions League, both teams finish outside the top four. Arsenal will finish outside the top four. If Chelsea already have a bit of a slip now and finish, say, 5th or 6th, they would take the place of 4th, because that's just the way it works. So as you say, it could all be in vain, but I think that's unlikely now. Chelsea's 50-50. Probably could see him getting free. Arsenal, it'll be hard to turn that around against Villarreal. Not impossible, but it'll be difficult. And I think even if they get through, I know United have been poor against them, but I fancy United to beat them in the final. But I'm just like you. Spurs is in the same situation. They need to win every game now if we're going to have any chance at top four. I think we're a point behind you. So again, very similar situation. We'll need our teams to slip up. The only thing I'll say is our games are all favourable. I think yours are after this weekend. So if you
on paper after United, we have a few favourable games. I think it's like West Brom and Burnley and stuff like that.
If you won them, obviously it gives you. If you won on Sunday, it gives you a bit of a hope that you can maybe. You never know how the table will look after the weekend. But as I said, it's really important to finish top 6. I think this year because you'll want to be at least in the Europa League. Prediction, Callum, on Sunday.
2-0 United. I don't think we're going to score. I think it's a bad day for us.
I'm going to go 2-1 to United. I think it'll be tight, but again, let's have enough quality. First game of the weekend, I think, Callum. Southampton against Leicester. I'll make you on it. I'll have to see what's happening after this because I haven't even set my days. I've gone to Belfast in the morning. They play Glentoran. Trying to sort all out. I've coached them before this, so I haven't even got a chance. But I'm hoping they sit down and watch this. But Southampton Leicester should be open enough. Southampton, the minute can't buy. The shocking run of form second half of the season, and Leicester again. They're just looking to keep winning. They make sure they finish top 4, big one during the week. I think it's a nice fixture for Leicester. And the fact that Southampton are so badly out of form. But interestingly, it's the first time Leicester have gone back to Southampton since that 9-0 victory they had. So, that might give Southampton a bit of a kick up the backside. But the fact Danny Ings is missing, I think could be out for the rest of the season is a big blow. And Southampton are just a bit lucky that there's nobody close to the top. The bottom 3 at the minute are struggling to get points that could have been dragged into it. How do you see it going?
Probably a Leicester one anyway, definitely. I think what do you call him? Iheanacho, he's been on fire, so I think he'll probably be the man for them tonight.
He's carried them because Vardy's not been scoring recently. He's been
exactly. And I was going to say Leicester haven't been exactly playing excellent either. So I'll probably go for I think it'll be a 1-0. I think it'll be tight enough. I don't think there'll be a lot of quality on it. But I think Iheanacho will probably get the winner.
All right, I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester. Tomorrow 12:30, Man City or Palace against Man City. Man City, they're going to have their eyes on Tuesday. It's Tuesday night as well, so it's going to turn around quite quick for them. PSG, that's going to be this game. Even if they really lose it, they're still in a strong position in the league. They get a 1 somewhere else, but they'll rotate. But they'll still feel the strong team. Do you think that they'll get the 1?
No, I don't think they will. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it's going to be a 1 each. I think they're going to be shitting themselves for Tuesday night. So it'll be a weird out team. It'll still be a strong team, but. I think they're probably going to go for a 1 each.
If you look at the stats, this is the nice time to play Palace. They seem to have the flip flops on towards the end of the season every year. I know they've done alright against Leicester, they aren't, but Leicester did manage to turn it around. They haven't won a game for a while, Palace. So I think City will do enough. I'm going to go for a 1-0 City 1. Brighton against Leeds at 3 o'clock should be pretty entertaining. Just look at the table. I think Brighton now they're 17th. 7 points clear of Fulham. We have superior goal difference, 8 points. Fulham with 81-3. Brighton are probably 1-1 away from safety. They probably have enough anyway, but they'll probably feel they're 1-1 away. Leeds, they're in good form. In fact, they're unbeaten in 5 or 6 games. Bielsa, we know he won't let the players get the flip flops on until the very end. So should be entertaining this game.
I think it will be entertaining. It's quite hard to call. I'm not too sure. I think it's going to be. It'll be open anyway. It always does with Leeds games. You say it every time. Going to go for it's tight. 2-1 Leeds. I think it'll be a good game.
I'm going to go the same 2-1 Leeds. Brighton just can't seem to put away chances. So I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds. Chelsea Fulham at 5:30. This is probably Chelsea's easiest game left. Chelsea have actually got a quite difficult run of fixtures coming up, and the fact that they're in the Champions League, there is a possibility that they might see their eyes wandering. They've got an FA Cup final coming up. I think they have they've got Arsenal and Leicester they play, and Man City.
No, they already play West Ham.
Man City as well. But again, they play Man City next week, and that could be an often game for City. They made it the League One, so it's hard to know what teams are, but on paper they definitely have a trickiest run under all teams. This will sense this is 3 points, but they do seem to struggle putting away chances. And Fulham are on borrowed time. They have to go out for a win. So how do you see it going?
I actually, I'm going to go with a couple of thousand. I think Fulham's going to win the match because they're one each against Madrid. They're going to be all eyes on that there on Wednesday night. So I think they'll rotate. But I think Fulham, obviously, I don't think Fulham's going to stay up now, but Fulham are obviously they're going to have the belief that they can go and win the match. So I think Fulham's going to win it 1-0.
I love to share your confidence. Do you know what? Fulham nearly had a big one away at Arsenal a couple of weeks ago, and they caught in the 99th minute or something like that. Mad, and that probably crippled them 2 points. And I think they might come up short again here. I think they might get a good draw. But again, draws is not what they need right now. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Everton against Villa, 8 o'clock. Everton, again, pretty much like ourselves. If they have any top four ambitions, they probably have to win every game. Villa at the minute are probably everybody love to play Villa, I think, because they're just completely shot of confidence. And Mason Greedy is like I've never seen a team miss a player as much. They look a shadow of themselves with them. So how do you see this going? Good chance for Everton to get 3 points.
Is Everton at home?
Yeah.
They can't buy one at home. I swear to God, they're awful at home. I think it's going to be a poor match. I think it's going to be 0-0. I think it's going to be lack of quality. Everton. You always look at Everton's fixtures, especially at home, and think, they might pick up a point there or whatever. But no, I think they're too hot and cold. I think it'll be 0-0.
Yeah. I think it won't be a great watch. I think I'm going to go for a 1-0 Everton one. I think they'll have enough to get past them. Newcastle Arsenal Sunday 2 o'clock. It's again Arsenal will have no interest in this game. They can't really go anywhere where they are in the league. I think they're 7 points off 7th. I think they're no chance really of finishing there. So it's our Champions League or nothing, and that'll be only achieved through one of the Europa League. So they're either winning that and getting Champions League football or having no European football next year. Again, one lose or draw won't mean anything for Arteta and Arsenal. It'll be all about Thursday night against Villarreal. Newcastle are flying at the minute, Callum. So do you think Newcastle will be eyeing up 3 points here again?
They probably could. I think Newcastle are safe now after the point they got against us as well. But I think it's going to be another game. It lacks quality. I think probably. I'm going to go for 0-0 here. Arsenal have won on Thursday. Newcastle were near enough safe, I'd say now. So, I think it's going to be a 0-0.
I think Newcastle are flying at the minute. There's probably not a team in the league. In terms of their fear factor, we maximum to their counter-attacking and stuff, and you just wonder where that's been all season. I know he's been missing, but they just look a completely different team. And the run of form since they come back from the international break, they've had some tough fixtures and they've got good results. They drew with Liverpool, drew with Spurs, won away at Burnley, and they won some more. They won. There's another game they won. They have 2 wins and 2 draws. West Ham. So they had a really tough run, and they're well safe now. I think they'll win this as well. I think they're going to win 2-1. James is saying Liverpool need to turn up on Sunday. Come on. What do you think on Sunday, James? Do you think Liverpool will get the job done? Callum's saying 2-0 United. He's no confidence. I think United 2-1. How do you see it going? Spurs play Sheffield. Callum, it's 7:15. What an anticlimax the weekend. Sheffield, they've got nothing to play for. And Spurs are shocking at the minute. There's no way Spurs can lose this, is there? Surely not.
No, I'll be. The thing is, I'll see if Spurs do lose. It wouldn't even be surprising. But
Sheffield did Brighton last week, but
I'm going to
as well.
I'm going to just purely because it has to happen. It'll be a Spurs one, because if it doesn't, it'll be a tragedy.
What do you see it? Do you see it being comfortable or edgy?
Might be an edgy start date, but I think you'll probably want it 2-0.
Share your confidence, Callum. I think 2-0. Do you know what? I'm not doing another podcast if we don't win this game. And I actually look at this, and I think if we can get our act together, we've got 3 home games out of our last 5. We've got Villa and Wolves at home. Villa and Wolves, the minute. Villa are shocking the minute, and Wolves just even get smashed 4-0 by Burnley. Nothing they play for. That's the kind of fixtures you want at the start at this time of the season. So there's 3. You fancy if you can get 3 home ones there against these teams. Leeds away is going to be difficult, as we know they're not going to stop. But again, you have to look at that and go, they're not really playing for anything. So again, you need to take that. You took that, playing a team. And then the last game of the season, Leicester, At the minute, Leicester look like they could have third wrapped up in. So Spurs could possibly play in 5 teams. Not much they play for. And they're all below them in the table except for Leicester. So again, should really the opportunity for them if they can win this game. But I don't have any confidence we're going to win all 5 games. That's the thing.
They're shot of confidence. That's what it is, because they'll be thinking the same as you, but I don't know. They just can't really turn up.
Yep. And where are we at? We're on the Monday now, and West Brom play Wolves 6 o'clock. Wolves, the manner of shocking. West Brom again. Nearly won every game. Probably they have a chance. Looking like it's going to be too much for them. Better blow last week. They were 2-1 up, conceded in injury time like Fulham as well the week before. If they had got them 2 points, it might have been looking a bit easier for them, but makes it nearly impossible and they stay up.
Probably, it's going to be a bad out watch that one, I'd say. I actually think West Brom's going to do me because Wolves are really, really, really poor. Hey?
Yeah.
So I'll probably go for a 2-1 West Brom.
I'm going to go 1-0 West Brom. And then Burnley, West Ham, they finish it off. West Ham, they've had a bit of a knock. They've had a bit of a knock. They have to win this game to get back on track. And Burnley got that great one last week, which probably keeps them safe now. But they probably like an R1 day to guarantee it. And West Ham injuries catching up. Do you think, Callum? We've had a luck running out.
I think so. There was the big question: can they will handle the pressure? Can they just keep their run going? Probably. I think if they won now against Burnley, maybe as a back on, you don't know. Probably, I'm going to go for a 1 each. I think Burnley, the confidence as well after the 4-0.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw as well. Burnley are finishing strong. I think that'll make it difficult. James is saying roll on next season. He doesn't even want to give a prediction because he must not be confident. Hopefully they get some new players and be stronger. And Cam will share that way as well. Do you know what, Cam? It's a bank holiday weekend. The beer gardens are open. At least everyone's in good spirits. And hopefully the brighter days ahead and stuff, and we can enjoy the Euros with pints outside and stuff, and maybe inside as well.
100%. Let's hope that we have a good summer here.
Hey, if I don't have you on before the end of the season again, I want to thank you for all the podcasts you've done since we started this. Obviously, we're getting there slowly but surely, but loads more watching and stuff, and the subscribers on YouTube are going up and stuff. So I suppose it's positive. That's one thing to look at.
100%. Cheers for having me on. As always, I'll hopefully be back on next season again. Sure.
Top man, Kel. Thanks very much.
James
is saying Liverpool 2-0. How many times have you said that this year, James? 2-0 every week. You're like Mark Lawrenson. Every week it's a home one, and if he's or an away one, depending on where you're playing. But thanks very much for everyone that's watched. And if you're out and about this weekend, stay safe and enjoy your pints. I'll be back after the weekend reflecting on all these results. Until then, I'll see you again. Thanks very much.